Alright guys, welcome back to AWMFX. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, or good night, no matter where you are. Hopefully you guys are doing great and earning a lot of the money from the market. Alright, so today I'm going to do a recap on the trades that I took last week. Alright, the good, the bad, the ugly. But anyway, I did fantastic last week. And however, the early or the first trade that I took last week was a stop loss, but it does not hinder me or does not hinder my progress. So let's recap back all the mistakes that I've done and why I got into some of the trades and what are the trades that I missed out that I can see. All right, I can see. All right, the first trade that I took was this one. This was a loss trade. So what happened was that I saw the price. This was from last 2 weeks. The price came down and then make a supply zone right here. All right, drop. And then to me, I thought that this should be a QML. So we learn from mistake. This was not a quality QML. One of the reasons is because the QML level over here, right over here to here, this is too wide. All right, the shoulder and the head, the range is too wide, or should I say the distance is too wide. So this is not a quality QML. So what happened, the other thing was that I saw this movement and I thought that it's a fake out. It's a fake out, right? It's a fake out for me because there's a resistance. Not only that, I give myself another reason. I thought that the price is making a tree drive, the last leg tree drive, like I shared in my page. So I thought that this will be a nice move going down. However, the price does not goes down, but continue moving forward. But anyway, it's a loss trade. Let me see. I've lost 18 pips, almost 20 pips. But anyway, I have my risk reward ratio. I know how I did control on it. All right. So I have a loss over here. So am I going to sober or should I be crying over the spill milk? So no, I get over it very fast. So the next thing that I saw is that the price moving up. Like I told you, I go back to H4. I usually refer my trades on H4 movement, so it does not really breaks the high over here, right? And not only that, the price come back. All right, came back, and then I thought that all right, it's not going to break, so it's going down, maybe going down, and then we'll be making another retracement to the upside. So anyway, I switched to the next day I switched to M5 or sorry M30, and I monitor the market and see what I can get myself into. Right, so what I did was that I saw this movement over here. Right, I saw this movement. So at this point, if you look at it properly, it's making a very strong support right here. Right, it's making a very strong support. Eventually, when the price came down, right, let me go for a bit. So when the price came down, I can see that there is a double maru. See, there's a lot of wick, a lot of rejection. Then when the price came down, it has a double maru over here, and we call it a double maru king, right? It's a double maru king, very nicely done. All right. I believe I did videos explain about how I enter this kind of movement. All right. So what happened was that I make a sell at this point. And of course, once I make a sell, I need to know where should I take my profit. So this is the spill milk. Let's get over it. All right. So what happened was that I saw another demand zone right here. So I'm not going to risk a lot because this was in the daytime and I was quite busy. My time was 8 o'clock in the morning. So I was quite busy. So what I'll do is that I just get my take profit zone. I get my entry zone. That's all. End of the story. I don't think too much. If it hits, it hits. If it does not, let's forget about it. It's a very simple 1 to 9 trade, almost to 10, 1 to 9 trade, right? So eventually the price went back up, all right, retest and then drop, hit my profit, all right, hit my profit, then I'm out of this trade. So that's all. Lost one, win a big one for me, all right? This is a big one. So in my next video, I'm gonna explain how I do my trades, or my how I determine my lot size. So after that, what happened was that I cannot see any clear entry. All right, for me, I cannot see any clear entry. That's nothing much for me, and I learned another lesson. A lot of people will think that this is another QML setup. You can see going up, coming down, going up, and then the big drop. So if you look at this pattern, and this pattern that the fail pattern, all right, this fail pattern, you can see that similarity is that the range is very big between the shoulder and the head. All right, so that's why I didn't go into this trade. Right, most of you guys might enter at here, but I didn't go in this trade because I learned my lesson well. I only go for trades that I have confidence with. So what happened was that I didn't took any trade. I think almost 2 days, a day, more than a day. There is nothing much I can do. And then I monitor the price. So suddenly the price did something like this. Right, for me, it's a quite weak. Right, this is something we call it as another type of setup. Right, it's called QMTR in my language, Hoshimoto QMTR, Hoshimoto type respect. But however, if I translate into English, it's supposed to be called QM Hoshimoto non-respect. Means that if you look at it, there is a small QM in M30, with a small QM M30, and the price keep going up without returning, or should I say without respecting this QML. Because if actual QML, the price should drop from here, right? But the price did not drop. Instead of, it keep going up. All right, it keep going up, and coincidentally at this point, right, it have make a supply zone. This one demand zone. When it goes up, it makes a demand zone. All right, a demand zone right here. So what happened was that not only that, when it make a demand zone, the price went up and then came back down before it continues going up. Can you see it? All right. So this means that there is something fishy right here. So if you can see, I've already highlighted this zone. This was my entry point because this is where the price came back down before it moved up. Right, before it moved up means that likely the price will come down, retest, and then continue going up. That's how we use the QMTR. All right, that's how we trade the QMTR. This is how I trade it. So I saw this demand zone right here, so I put my buy order. All right, so sometimes I sell, sometimes I buy, but based on fact, I trade based on fact. So what happened was that the price came back down, retest, right? Nicely done. Came back down, retest. Let me see. So where's my take profit zone? Right, take profit zone. So I'm not gonna exaggerate. Okay, so from here onwards, let's see. Okay. So I took my profit over here. This was my take profit zone. I'm gonna put other color so that you guys can see clearly. So this was my take profit zone. Okay, why I took my profit over here? If you look at it properly, this is another supply zone, right? This is a supply zone, and this pattern looks alike with this pattern over here. You can see, that's why I took my profit over here. eventually the price went further up, but I, like what I said, I already determined how I enter and how I take my profit. That's all. So it's another 1 to 8. Yeah, 1 to 8 for me. So it's good. It's good trade. And then I miss out on this trade. All right. So today I'm gonna teach you another new thing. All right. I miss out on this trade. This was taught by Nora teacher. So this is called SNR SNR1. Yeah, SNRC1. Right. It combine trend line with a QML. So let me forward it a bit. Right. All right. So I miss out on this trade. All right. I miss out on this trade. So how you goes by this trade? Okay. If you look at it properly, I already drawn a line. Right. This is a trend line. All right. This is a trend line. Not only that, the price came down, went up, came down, and then make a QM. It breaks the high and then came back down for a QM, and then it goes up very high. So on this kind of trade, your entry point will be here. This will be your entry point. All right, this will be your entry point, and your stop loss will be around 30 pips from your entry point. So I don't usually trade this way, but anyway, this was taught by Nora teacher. I'm gonna explain a bit. This is how she used the QML with the trend line, right? So I missed out on this trade. Very honest with you. I don't catch every trade. So I miss out on this, and did I cry? I sober a bit, and then I got a few drinks. That's all. All right. So what happened was that I monitored the price. I see is there any other opportunity for me to go in it. Then nothing. There was nothing until, let me go forward a bit, until I saw this movement. So the price was moving up and down, up and down. All right, and then it breaks. It went higher. All right, it went higher. So at this point, what I did was that I monitor the market in a small time frame since the movement is very small, and I saw this beautiful RBS. A lot of you ask me RBS, so I'll tell you. So here, over here, if you switch it to the line chart, you can see this stick over here, or this needle over here. It's a very sharp A shape, right? So if you switch it to back to candle, at this point, let me draw for it. At this point, like what I told you guys, at this point, look for something suspicious, and that is a double maroking again. That is a double maroking. So this was where I placed my trade, and all right, this is where I placed my trade. So after that, I just leave it. Reason was that this was Friday, yesterday, all right? So it's either the NFP will gonna take me out, all right? Or the NFP will bring me to the moon. It's either way because I'm doing a buy over here. So unfortunately and fortunately, the price reacted before the night. All right, it was in the morning during my time, afternoon. Let me fast forward a bit. So the price reacted quite early. All right, the price reacted quite early, and I did not move it to break even. I did not take profit because I know NFP was at night my time. All right, Malaysian. I am from Malaysia, so it's Malaysian time. So I leave it. I don't care. I don't give a F. I just hope. At this point, really, I only have one strategy: hope and pray. All right, it will bring me to the moon. So the price went up, retest, quite handsome profit, and then it came back down, retest the second time before the NFP. All right. I didn't expect the price will move so fast, right? So when I switch it back to the chart, when I saw this movement, I was so happy. All right, I was like shout without the voice coming out on top of my lungs. All right. So where do I take my profit? At this point, I switch it to H4 because it's a big movement, right? I try not to leave the trade overnight, or should I say over the weekend, because I don't know what will happen over the weekend. So where I took my profit, so over here, right? So over here, if you can see, there is a very strong rally based drop, right? Rally based drop and a very strong supply zone over here. This is where I took my profit. No joke, I just took my profit, and coincidentally, after I took my profit, the price dropped a bit. So will it be going back up again? I do not know. You can see I make a buy in this zone. You know why? That's why. I did post in my group, all right, in the Facebook group page. Sorry, Facebook page. So this, to be honest, this movement or this trade over here was the highest risk reward ratio trade that I have made by date. I mean until today, this is the highest. It was 1 to 32 for me. Yes, 1 to 32 means I risked 1 and I got my reward 32. This was the best trade I've made till today. All right, till today, 1 to 32. So this, I don't know how to drag. I don't know how to drag. I just calculate this was 1 to 32. So that's all the sharing for today. So if you look back at all my trades, do I have lost trade? Yes. And I started with a lost trade. All right, I started with a lost trade. And am I sad? I'm supposed to be sad because it doesn't start well. So you need to know from your lesson, why does this fail and I don't repeat it again over here. All right, it's a same kind of similar kind of pattern. You can see similar kind of pattern. I don't repeat it over here, right? And I trade based on what should I say? I trade based on my knowledge. I trade based on the price action, price structure. All right, I trade based on reason, facts, how the markets telling me, right? So hopefully this video will give you a bit of hint on how I trade, and you will learn some tricks or tips about it. So if you guys like the videos that I make for you guys, please do give me a like or subscribe, even better, so that YouTube will push my video to more people, and then they'll learn the correct way. Because I'm doing a lot of videos, I think I've already made the whole set of videos without hiding anything. It's all there, right? You just maybe, if some of you guys have some question, maybe you need to go back and look for some of my videos. I really explain everything there, and I trade based on all those things that I've shared in this channel. All right, so hopefully you guys can gain some knowledge from there. That's all for today. Bye.